And Jay, hope you now have working knowledge of banking system in India.
Yes, Mr. Kumar. Thanks for sharing the information.
Mr. Kumar, is it necessary to be a customer of any bank to avail the services of the bank?
Yes, Jay, you are right. One should have an account with a bank to avail the services of the bank.
So, how can one become a customer of a bank? Will you please let us know?
Sure, Raj. In this session, we will learn about accounts and deposits. We will learn about the procedure of opening an account, various types of deposits, and operations in deposit accounts. After completing this module, you will be able to explain deposit accounts, list the required documents to open a deposit account, identify various types of deposits, explain the operations in deposit accounts. Someone desirous of opening a deposit account in a bank has to fill up and sign the prescribed account opening application form and furnish the below introductory reference of an acceptable person, acceptable proof of his or her identity, proof of residential address, photographs, initial deposit. Click each item to learn more about it. Applicant has to furnish reference of an existing customer of the bank in which the applicant wants to open an account. Introduction is the process by means of which banks satisfy themselves that the applicant is a genuine person of certain standing and known through the bank's existing customer. As per the existing guidelines issued by Reserve Bank of India or RBI, the applicant has to furnish attested copies of acceptable direct proof of his or her identity. These proofs can be passport, driving license, voter ID card, permanent account number or PAN. Proof of applicant's residential address can be house ownership documents, rent receipt, utility bill such as telephone bill or electricity bill, society letter. Applicant is also required to deposit an initial amount into his or her account. Initial deposit of an amount not less than the prescribed minimum of Rs 500 to Rs 10,000. Initial deposit could vary from bank to bank and ranges from Rs 500 to Rs 10,000, depending on whether an account is to be operated by check or otherwise. Banks also open no-frills savings account for persons of small means, where the initial balance could be either nil or as low as Rs 5. You must have heard about Know Your Customer or KYC procedure. In 2002, RBI had issued directive to all banks for complying with the procedure of Know Your Customer in respect of all of their new and existing domestic and non-resident customers. KYC establishes the identity and residential address of the customers by specified documentary evidences. The KYC guidelines issued by RBI reinforce the existing customer identification practice of banks. KYC guidelines have to be compulsory adhered by banks in regard to all of their customers who maintain domestic or non-resident rupee or foreign currency accounts with them. Accounts opened by individuals, group of individuals, companies, firms, religious trust accounts and non-religious trust accounts should be subjected to KYC procedure. Identity theft, identity fraud, money laundering, and terrorist financing
The RBI had directed all banks and financial institutions to put in place a policy framework to know their customers before opening any account. Proof of identity, Aadhaar card. Proof of address, Aadhaar card. Specimen signature of the customer is obtained on the account opening form in the presence of the bank staff and is attested by an authorized bank officer in the form itself. A customer is recognized mainly by his or her signature on the checks, vouchers, and these are compared with the specimen signature on record to verify the genuineness of the customer's signature. In the case of illiterate customers, banks take the thumb impression for identification purposes. Can a person operate his or her account through another person? Yes. At times, a customer would like to transact his or her business through another person. Banks accept this arrangement for which a power of attorney or POA is essential. Power of attorney is a document duly stamped as per the Indian Stamp Act given by a customer to his or her banker, authorizing his or her attorney to operate the account.
Who all can open an account with a bank? Can more than one people jointly have an account?
Let me tell you. Banks offer individual accounts and joint accounts. Banks also offer accounts for illiterate persons. Click each customer type to learn more about it. An individual who is above 18 years of age, being of sound mind, can open a deposit account with a bank. Savings or fixed deposit accounts can also be opened for child and it can be operated by the father, mother or guardian in one of the following modes. In the single name of the child operated by the father, mother or guardian, or in the joint names of the father, mother or guardian and the child. It is also possible that more than one individual come together and open a bank account. These are called joint accounts. In these cases, for easy operations in the account holders will have to give instructions to the bank about who would be operating the account. Such accounts can be operated by one of the account holders or jointly by two or more account holders. Normally, the type of instructions could be either or survivor, wherein the account can be operated by any one of the joint holders. This means that both of them have the right to operate and it is enough if one of them signs the checks. And in the event of closure of account, the deposit can be repaid to anyone. And in the event of death of a joint holder, to the survivor. Former or survivor, wherein the account will be operated only by the first named depositor and the balance will be payable to only the first named depositor, or if the first named is deceased, the survivor, as the case may be. Both jointly or survivor, wherein the account will be operated jointly and the money repayable to both jointly or the survivor, if any one of the joint holders is deceased. Any two jointly or last survivor, wherein the number of account holders is more than one and any two will operate the account. Illiterate persons who cannot sign are allowed to open savings account without check facility or fixed deposit account. Current account is not generally opened for such persons. Withdrawals are permitted in the account on production of the passbook and after verification of the thumb impression and against proper identification of the account holder. And answer. Click on the right option and click Done to complete answering the question. Deposit account can be closed in below 3 cases. At customer's request, a customer is entitled to terminate the relationship with a bank by applying for closing the deposit account if he or she is not satisfied with the services of the bank or for any other reason such as transfer or relocating to another place. Closure by bank. A bank may close account or stop operation on a customer's deposit account in any of the following cases by giving reasonable notice to the customer wherever necessary. On receipt of notice of death of the customer. A joint account may also be closed on the death of any one of the account holders and fresh account opened in the names of the surviving account holders. Stopping of operations. A bank stop operations in an account in case the bank receives an order by a court or by an income tax authority until the order is lifted in writing by the court or income tax department as per the case.